Best RKO ever? We're about to find out as we watch along WrestleMania 31. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins in the 40 years of WrestleMania watch-along series. It's myself and Alex Steve in the house with you once again. Set up your Peacock and your WWE Network to 31 minutes exactly. That's what you need on WrestleMania 31. As you can see, we're just under 20 seconds away. And of course, then we're going to press play and we're going to watch Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins in the daylight of WrestleMania 31 in that beautiful setting of an arena. Yeah, what's your thoughts, Alex Steve, to just see a bit of WrestleMania in daylight? Obviously, we're going to just do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Alex Steve, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it's always it's weird watching wrestling during the day. Like, you can imagine that they get hot and bothered wrestling underneath all the lights, but you stick them underneath the actual sun trying to do a match. I imagine these guys were sweating buckets, man. But yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I think, like I said, it's one of the things that's really different. Like, obviously, WrestleManias have always kind of predominantly been in indoor arenas. I mean, hell, the fact that we get this one during the daylight, then we get another one that happens during that starts off with a tropical thunderstorm and is almost cancelled and delayed. Do you know what I mean? It's the risk you take, unfortunately. But no, it's do you know what I mean? I enjoy it, man. It's something different, and it almost makes it unique in its own special way when you see matches like this.
Absolutely, yeah. I was for that uniqueness here, watching WrestleMania 31, seeing everyone in the daylight, and obviously Factor 50 definitely needed, I would say, for this moment. Obviously, Seth Rollins, the Money in the Bank holder, coming to ringside, part of the Authority, of course, at this point as well, with J&J Security as well, Jamie Noble, and of course Joey Mercury, of course, two agents backstage really, but of course on the screen there with Seth Rollins, part of the Authority. This is an Authority storyline, of course, isn't it? Because Randy Orton was part of the Authority when it first started back at SummerSlam 2013. Of course, costing Daniel Bryan the championship. Of course, Money in the Bank was involved with that as well, ironically enough, if you go back. And Seth Rollins doesn't join the Authority until he turns on the Shield in the summer of 2014, obviously. And it's only when we get to sort of like the sort of winter period that we start to see friction with Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, isn't it, Alex Steve?
Yeah, and it's it almost felt drawn out at some point, and it was kind of like it's almost it's almost like when we'll co. It's the same with Roman now this year, and it's kind of like, is Roman going to lose the title this year? Do you know what I mean? It's one of the things that just seemed to draw out forever. But like I said, the fact that we get this quality of a match and we get arguably one of top 3 best RKOs out of nowhere ever, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to complain at the end of the day.
Absolutely not. Obviously, you know, Randy Orton would hit an RKO on Seth after he was initially attacked with a curb stomp after a 6-man tag on Raw. But Randy was always told off by the Authority, you know, like he's the experienced head. Obviously, he knows what this is all about. They were grooming Seth as the next big guy, obviously, being obviously the Money in the Bank holder as well. Obviously, the Authority helped Seth have that briefcase as well. And of course, this is obviously the famous night where Seth does get the heist of the century. He does cash it in, does walk away as the champion. But of course, this is what he has to worry about first here. There's only the second match on the main show of the card. Obviously, that's keyword there, main show here. Obviously, Randy Orton just about to enter the ring as well. But like you said, this match has been building for months and months, and Randy Orton finally going back to the babyface side after being a heel for a good couple of years. So it's nice. I mean, what's your stance on Randy Orton? You're more of a babyface fan, Randy Orton? Do you prefer Randy Orton as a heel?
I think I'm probably most enjoying Randy in his current iteration. Like, we was watching. What was we watching the other day? Where it was Mankind. It was a Raw a Mania review where we was Mania 20 with the Evolution versus Rock and Sock. And you look at the promos that Randy was cutting back then, and my God, they're awful. But the fact that he's that grizzled veteran, and like he delivers great promos, and it's like I said, I'm enjoying him more now than I ever have done in the past. Like, he's always felt, while a great in-ring wrestler, I don't know if it's me or there's something about him where I've just never been able to get fully behind Randy. But like I said, right there, this very present minute, I'm enjoying the stuff he's doing.
Absolutely. I think my favorite era of Randy probably is the heel era of 2008, 2009. We had Legacy, and obviously was really upsetting Triple H on the road to WrestleMania 25. But a face Orton always knew how to hit an RKO, how to please the crowd. I mean, watching Randy when I've seen him live, the way he just knows how to work a crowd, the experience factor he's got behind him, he's truly someone who knows his craft inside and out. Obviously, as JBL always said, if you want to build a pro wrestler from the ground up, you build Randy Orton here. And obviously, this match has started a great backflip as well there from Seth Rollins, but immediately hit with a drop kick from Randy Orton. Randy immediately going for an RKO, but Seth escapes and gets himself outside of the ring. A hot start there between these two.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that Randy's already trying to get an RKO in the first 60 seconds in itself is like that's why I say the RKO is the greatest finisher, because he can hit it anywhere, anytime, and you don't need to be in a specific location in the ring or a specific spot. It's just such a good move, man. But just to play back on Randy Orton though, I think with me, I think it's the fact that Randy's never been he's never been any other iteration. It's just always been Randy Orton. Like, he's a different sort of storylines, Legend Killer, Evolution, Legacy, but it's always just been Randy Orton. I mean, maybe once I would like to have seen a repackage at some point, I don't know, but I think that's probably why I've soured on him and not always been like his biggest fan.
I can understand that. Indeed. I've been quite a fan of Randy Orton for a portion of his career, I would say. Maybe found him a bit stale. I would have preferred a character change, like you say. Perhaps I'd say around about the mid-10s probably would be the period I would have liked it. But I did like Randy in this period of WrestleMania 31. So maybe probably talking a bit earlier. Maybe between 2011 and 2014 wasn't probably my hottest period of Randy Orton. But this match so far for me is playing a bit like a game like a cat. We say Randy's the apex predator. It's like cat and mouse here. Seth is trying to escape every occasion, but trying to take advantage when he can. But Randy Orton's got the experience factor here. He's already countered Seth here. J&J Security getting up on the ring apron and then getting smacked for their troubles. Feels like Randy's not wasting any time in this one, wanting to make short work here, but he's going back outside here to J&J Security. Could we see some vintage Randy Orton in the special way here? Could we see both guys hanging off the ring apron here? It could see a double DDT to the floor coming. Oh, lovely.
Great. Fun fact though, if you end up doing the showcase mode, here we go. See Seth is going to do suicide dive through the top rope, take Randy out. If you end up getting to this point in the showcase mode where you actually have to play this match, for some reason they blur J&J's faces out. Don't know why, because they're wrestlers. But yeah, if you because the way it's played out is you do gameplay, then you have to hit a certain action, and it cuts into live action from the match. And every time you saw J&J, their faces were blurred. I'm like, and these dudes were wrestlers. They were part of the company at the time.
Jamie Noble, I believe, still is part of the company at the time of recording, if I'm not mistaken. So very interesting. Maybe just because they're not signed to be a deal part of the game. I couldn't speculate why, but it could be a reason there for us. But yes, Seth Rollins still in control here in the ring at this particular moment now on Randy Orton. Obviously, Seth has been a cowardly heel throughout this run so far. Obviously, trying to get a one-upsmanship. He's obviously taking the advice of Triple H and the Authority and trying to become the next level, the next top guy. Obviously, at the expense, getting in the way of Randy Orton. I'm guessing that's what's caused a lot of the friction here between these two. But thoughts on Seth Rollins around this time period?
See, the fact that Seth was the one to turn on the Shield was just a great bit of booking. Seth Rollins for me is almost like, I feel like if you were to put him, if I was to put him along the lines of someone like a Hall of Fame, for example, for me he's very much Macho Man. Like at this point, like great promo, great in ring, but he just seems to be something away from being the top guy at this point. Like he's missing something, and obviously, hey, give it 3 hours, and I'm sure that's the point where he becomes that top guy. That's the ironic part about this WrestleMania. That's what makes this so special. And the fact that this guy has 2 killer moments at this Mania itself is just unreal.
I like your analogy. I feel that almost that I can see where you're coming from when we look at the time frames of Savage, of how he worked his way to the top, Seth as well working his way to the top, both being heels, turning to faces as well. So I can see where it comes from with that.
And the briefcase is essentially his scepter. The thing that I think I would have appreciated more with this version of Rollins as well was, I don't know, like he always came out in his ring attire, and I was like, if you're meant to be authority, where's the suits, man? Like these guys are like, we got Authority Kane, and the guy was coming out in like tuxedo trousers every week. I would like to have seen Seth do the same thing, but do you know what? I think this is actually still my favorite presentation of Seth Rollins in ring. Like his style, his music, everything, his package, I just think is great.
Truly the architect there, and obviously going for a curb stomp attempt. They've actually countered it into a power slam there. Looks like we're already getting towards that final third of the match here. Obviously, they've played the opener with the cat and mouse. They've had the slow, lethargic attack here of Seth Rollins. Now Randy Orton looks to be getting back into uppercuts in the corner here with these two. And like you said, I kind of agree with you with the presentation of Seth at this point. The architect character for me, I think, is my favorite as well. I mean, I enjoy Seth today. I do feel like, but it can be a bit goofy for me at times. And if you ask me to actually define the character of what Seth actually is, I know he's meant to be visionary, revolutionary, all that sort of stuff, but I feel the architect, there was more of a purpose, there was more of a direction. I felt like it was character development every week. I just feel at the moment with Seth, people just sing his song.
Yeah, I mean, I think for anything, if more, he's probably more Macho Man today than he is, than he was back at 31. Like the way he talks, his mannerisms, his flamboyant outfits is very Macho Man, Macho King. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, indeed. Then obviously vintage Orton attempt there, but he's now been actually backdropped over the top rope there. Seth hitting form of an enziguri kick, sending Randy Orton to the floor. We'll see how this is going to play out here, because obviously Randy in between J&J security still. Seth on the ring apron, but of course he's sort of targeting, evaluating. Maybe as an architect, he's deciding what he should do next here. Looks like he's going to the second rope. Springboard. Look at that moonsault. Beautiful landing onto Orton as well there, but he's backlands into the announcer's table. It's going to leave a mark, isn't it?
Just a bit. I was sitting there thinking as well on the way into the ring, I was like, why has he got all that fake tan on when he's wrestling in 50-degree heat? You know what I mean?
Probably to save some burn, but then again, he's got a back burn after that move for sure, regardless. Randy Orton going into the ring now.
Randy Orton always, by the way, he's wearing red trunks. Do you know what I mean? He always seems to change his aesthetic when it comes to Mania. Like when he come out in the white trunks for the triple threat, just seemed to throw everyone completely.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Seth on the top.
Countered.
Ooh. Sorry, Seth, not today. You've been hung up to dry.
I love this. One of the we mentioned about psychology is obviously a big thing in this series that we've enjoyed so far. Randy, the mannerisms that he just looks at Seth as well when he knows that Seth has made these sort of rookie errors as well at this moment here. But looks like Randy going to attempt that superplex. Seth attempting to counter it at this particular moment.
Oh, this is great. This is great. The benefits of playing this on the video game is I know what's about to come.
It's been a few years since I've seen this match. Unfortunately, I've not had the luxury to play it as of yet. But Seth here, backdrop there off the top there. Poor Seth. Randy's just watching on as well. It's got to be difficult though, competing in that heat there. You can see it looks quite difficult.
That's what I said. You've got to be sweating even more than what you would be if you're just under the normal house lights.
Absolutely high cross body attempt there from Randy. It's countered there into a pinfall attempt there for Seth.
Here we go.
Reversal.
Clothesline. Reversal. Here we go. Vintage Orton.
DDT. Look at the hang there as well.
This was a good thing as well that I appreciate about a lot of the guys that came up through NXT, that their selling is a lot more believable than what it was sort of 20 years ago. Like the way, especially like with people like Ricochet, the way Ricochet's able to sell a DDT, for example, I just feel adds so much more to a move. And like you said there, when he takes that DDT, the fact that his legs are still draping on the ropes is just a much more convincing sell to me.
Absolutely, yeah. Randy Orton looked for an RKO attempt there, and it's been countered there into a schoolboy kick out, and now a kick into the face there. Form of a super kick. Seth, I love this move. Oh no, it doesn't hit it. RKO. Wow, fantastic. Not the best one of the match though, because Seth kicks out with two.
Just great, man. Like I said, just the fact that you can hit it from nowhere, just as much as I love the stunner, as much as I love, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to think the shooting star press, just the RKO for me. Just hit like you have to be on a top rope to do a shooting star press. You have to initiate the stunner with a kick, whereas the RKO you can get it from any direction and it still works perfectly.
Absolutely, indeed. There, Randy Orton there, listening to the crowd there. His voice is in his head.
Might just be the odd 60, 70, 80, 90,000 or whatever number it is WWE have advertised it as in his head.
Absolutely. Looks
Someone
like
with his left hand side.
Yes. There's also a sign of someone saying they're a Hulk Hogan guy. It's an interesting choice. But here we go.
Give
Look at this.
it an hour or so.
Jamie Noble saves Seth, gets an RKO for his trouble. Off the second rope, Joey Mercury and RKO as well. Seth now going off the rope, going for a curb stomp and lands at this point here. Is this going to be the end of ref counts? 1, 2, and a kick out from Randy Orton. I love that the pace has really quickened up in this one. It felt very sort of slow and steady start. I felt like, but this one has really picked up in the last sort of few minutes here.
The fact as well that the way this is booked as well, if you look at, like I said, the pace has picked up, but as well the fact that Randy has hit 3 RKOs and he's taken out J&J for the rest of the match now with those 2 RKOs, your normal brain is telling you Randy's losing this now. He's taken the 2 guys out that gave him the advantage. Do you know what I mean? You think that he's going to lose, like it gives you the thing, oh, he's going to lose it because he has that. He's had his moment now. Now this is all Seth's to win. And then we get that curb stomp straight after, thinking this is it, match is over, Seth's going to win this. And he kicks out. Just great.
It's great storytelling. Really, it's great storytelling.
It's Seth's turn to soak it in there. It's time for Seth's turn to hear voices in his head.
Absolutely. Wondering what he's going to attempt. It could be something similar to the Royal Rumble in 2015. Of course, it was in the triple threat match with Brock and Cena, and that's where the first time I remember in WWE him actually attempting a Phoenix Splash. It looks like he could be attempting that again now. It's onto the top rope, and it's certainly in position for it. Obviously, he stands there like he's going to do a moonsault. Here he goes for it. Goes for it, misses, but lands on his feet, rolls around. RKO attempt. Push goes into the ropes, another kick down there. Looks like Seth is going to go for that curb stop, and I think here comes for that finish. Up he goes, and down, RKO. Absolutely incredible. And of course, you just see around who reacts as well.
Randy's gassed.
Celebrating
1,
like he's...
2. The fact that he takes 3 seconds to react before even attempting to pin it, you can tell how much that means to Randy Orton. Because I think if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was on like the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast where he interviews Randy and they talk about this spot. And I'm sure Randy says that the amount of times that they tried to get it and it wouldn't work, and the fact that the one time it pays off is in the match is just brilliant.
You can feel it as well. It's like he's celebrating a goal or something like that in a soccer match or a football. You just feel that emotion, the rawness come out of him there before landing that 3 count. You can just hear the eruption of the crowd as well. And obviously, this is what the theme of why we've selected this match as well. Obviously, best RKO ever, certainly a WrestleMania. I can't think of one in WrestleMania terms, but some of the other great ones we've seen, obviously, like you say, Randy can hit it from anywhere. But Evan Bourne, of course, was one that was a famous one where he did the shooting star press and was landed into an RKO. Chad Gable was another one recently as well. Moonsaults into an RKO attempt. What are some of the more popular ones? But would this one rank the top for you? Because for me, how, Seth's attempting a curb stomp, which obviously that involves neck stroke, but the fact that Seth goes flying high in the air, and don't you say that they couldn't get this done correctly at all, but yet on this spot here, this moment, I'll say this night, this afternoon, boom, lands perfectly. You just see how he captures his neck there in the replay. Absolutely incredible. I think this just has to be the best RKO ever. And for me, I was always a big fan of the Evan Bourne one as well. So, but yeah, for me, I think this one just might top it.
Yeah, for me, this one is top. I mean, I do, same as you, I do love the Evan Bourne. My only issue with the Evan Bourne one is that Randy only gets about 2 inches off the ground before he connects with the actual RKO, whereas this, Seth has got all the height in the world, comes down, he grabs it, he catches him as well, which is obviously a key point, that if he doesn't catch it, it doesn't look good, and he just nails it on the head, man, and pulls it off. I mean, dude, I'm sure Randy will try and think of somewhere topping it this year, and Logan Paul is probably going to try and be on the end of an RKO from some sort of crazy spots, you know, go viral and trend and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do this year.
I'm sure that's going to be the case as well. There's no way they've not done this match where Logan Paul does not want to take a one of those sort of RKOs. Exactly. So, like you say, it's going to be such a special moment indeed there with that one. But for this match, and obviously we mentioned a bit of a cat and mouse start, obviously with a slow middle, but certainly a fast-paced, high adrenaline end there with an incredible finish to the match as well. What would be your star rating for this match in particular?
Dude, you're going to be hard to get me anything other than a 5-star. Like I said, these are iconic matches. Like I yes, obviously I'm being overly biased and saying that because obviously the one spot makes it, but it's actually, if you take the RKO away, it's still a really good match. There's great storytelling. There's great near falls. There's great points where you think that like I said a little while ago, Randy's had his spot now. Seth's gonna hit the curb stop, hits it, that's it. Seth's won, kicks out of it. It's all good, man. So that's 5 stars for me. It's a match that I can go back and watch anytime, and I'm still going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. For me, I'm going to go for a 3.5 star for this one. I don't know. Watching it back now on a watch along series, I just feel this has flown by. We're 20 minutes in, the match is done. We're on to the next level. But I do think they hit their spots perfectly, they execute it. That finish though, maybe it's worth more than a 3.5 because that's a 5-star RKO. So I'll bump it up a little bit. Yeah, I'll bump up a little bit. I'm going to join. I've just seen Dave Meltzer's rating on the screen now. He's gone for 4. Don't really want to copy Dave, but maybe a 4 is a fair rating. To be fair, with that finish, it's incredible, and I can't imagine it being rectified by anyone. So being able to copy that, it's a different level altogether. But is there anything you'd like to add before we finish up and wrap up today's watch along?
No, dude, like I said, thoroughly enjoyed this, and like I said, so it's great to go back and watch these old matches. Even, like I said, I think obviously because they're remembered for their spots and the fact that we watch the whole match in its entirety and we get to look back at the chemistry and the storytelling and everything that's to do with the match and not just the spot, is just such a benefit.
Absolutely indeed. And just to let you know as well, there are other matches in the series that we've already done, so if you want to go and see more of these, then go make sure to check out WrestleMania 10 Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. Is it the best opener in WrestleMania history? That's a question that we certainly discuss in that video. The first ever WrestleMania classic, you could argue, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. We question, should Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley have main evented WrestleMania 39? We've done that in the series as well, and some other matches you can look forward to coming up in this series include The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, the greatest WrestleMania match ever. WrestleMania 25, we'll be doing a watch along for it. We'll be doing the submission match from WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and who can forget the ladder match that set the tone for all ladder matches, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels, who truly was the rightful Intercontinental Champion of that era. And of course, on WrestleMania week, the last one we will be doing in this series to wrap it off, yes, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Should Cody have won it last year? I suppose it's irrelevant now, but we'll be watching it one more time before he makes an attempt to beat Roman at this year's WrestleMania. But that's all from us anyway. Make sure to like the video if you've enjoyed it, share with a friend, and subscribe as well. You have been watching here Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins from WrestleMania 31, and check out the videos on the side of your screen right now. Take care, thanks for watching, look after yourselves, and we'll see you for the next video. Take care.